Stage lights cold as a winter rain. One breath, one prayer, then the world went strange. Crowd froze up when the thunder cracked. Truth on a mic and a life attacked. He talked about hope in a storming land. Bible in the heart and a promise in his hands. But a shadow reached from a coward's perch, cut down a son in the middle of church. And I swear if the tables turned the other way, y'all know there'd be fires in the streets today. But here we stand with candles and a folded flag, begging God for mercy on the road we drag. How dare they steal the breath from a faithful man? How dare they stain the grass where his boots once stand? They call us evil, point at our cross, then pull that trigger and reckon no cost. If it were theirs, there'd be sirens and flames, but we're praying for truth while we whisper his name. Charlie, we ain't letting go of your hand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good evening, Erie County. Here we are. Again, it's Wednesday night, and I'm telling you what, we have been blessed with the weather. Unfortunately, I was just reading an article about how in Ripley, New York, they are calling for drought conditions. So if you're living in Ripley, New York, please pay attention to your water use. Don't wash the car or spray the kids down. You guys are a little bit of water problem over there in Ripley, New York. You know, folks right across the line here in Ripley. Great people, great farmlands. But yeah, just let's be careful. You know, we've hadn't had rain in a while. I know I was talking to a couple of fishermen. They're like, Ryan, we haven't had any rain. The streams are like dry. I said, no, I totally get it. But you know, so much for that. You know, I wanted to take a minute. We lost one of our team members, Miss Vendetti. She was running for county council. Unfortunately, she had some health issues, and unfortunately, those health issues kind of multiplied and took her upstairs. So we just wanted to acknowledge Miss Vendetti for stepping up to the plate, throwing her hat in the ring of the political world. She never had done that before, but unfortunately, we lost her. So that's okay. Our prayers and our wishes go out to her family, and hopefully we'll get through this. We seem to have, unfortunately, a lot of losses, but that's okay. I said the other day, we're only here for a quick minute. We really are. So we have to enjoy every minute of the day because we just don't know. I had a phone call this evening, which is, you know, my phone's usually somebody's calling from this, that, or the other thing. We have a special guest calling in at 10 after, Miss Maria Batista. She calls me and goes, Brian, I have nothing on my calendar. Can you fit me in the show? And I'm like, of course we can. She goes, well, do you mind playing a little video too? I said, we can play your video too. She's like, well, we're having a meet and greet. Can you play that too? I said, whatever you want, you got it. And so she will be on here in just a couple minutes at 10 after. So I got to give her a friendly text that to get ready, but I think she's ready. But she'll be on here. Sure, I'll text her right now. Or watch this. Don't forget, 10 after. There we go. I don't know if she's watched the show or not, but you got your couple minute warning. But yeah, a lot going on. Charlie Kirk's birthday was yesterday. We were all down the courthouse. My goodness, what a great turnout. Boots on the ground, people walking by, just chatting and saying, you know, stinks what happened to Charlie. We got people to register for the first time. We had I met this young lady. She just turned 18. just registered to vote. She was coming down the courthouse to vote in person. And of course, I voted in person on Charlie's birthday and that's why I got a sticker. See, I got an official sticker. I voted to honor Charlie. So early voting is going on. We still have time to get people registered. Now we have this. We have these. We have here. Oh, here's the official application. So don't forget. I believe that's the 20th. I think we are done accepting that. They have to be in by the close of business on the 20th. So if you have one of these and you're filling it out, let's get a hold of me and I'll come pick it up and I will personally drive it down there. I've been driving them down all week because this is how important every single vote matters. I've turned in a bunch of these the other day. I had a bunch of them in the car when we were out on the front steps there at the courthouse. I was literally, we'd get one, I'd run it inside because I don't want this to get lost. I didn't want them to get misplaced. And this way, the ladies in the office have time to get you processed and get your mail-in ballot. Hi, Miss Kuhn. Nice to see you. I got to see you twice in one day. How lucky am I? We had, yeah, Tammy, you're absolutely right. Voting is super important. And the energy that we are getting is amazing. The numbers are looking good. They're looking good. They look better. We're still got time. This is going to be determined by voter turnout and how many people we get out and vote. When I know I said it once, I said 1,000 times. When I didn't get reelected, we only had a 24% turnout rate. That does not win election, people. It does not. And with the county executive race up for grabs, and the Democrats doing what they do best, as I roll my eyes, we have to get out and vote. Bretton Davis has got his yard signs available for pickup. He's got large ones. He's got the regular size ones. So reach out to Bretton Davis on social media. Send him shoot him a text message. He'll get you one. I delivered a handful of them today. I was downtown doing the voter registration at the courthouse. I gave some out down there. I've got Kim Hunter. I got Maria Batista. I've got everyone's signs. I got Matt Wolford signs. I need some sheriff signs. Those are hot commodities, boy. I'm telling you. If the signage reflects the voting, Jeremy, you got this. I've seen like 2 Campanelli signs, and one was on a Bizarro property. So let me put my shock face on here. So, I just sent Maria a text. She just sent me. I said, don't forget 10 after. And according to mine, I got 9 minutes. So she got about a minute. I know as I know her as well as I do, she is absolutely going to be calling in here. But we just want to let you guys know. Kim's call, I asked her to call it a little later. Dave's call, I call it a little bit later, because when you have a future judge wanting to come on your show, you say yes, ma'am, and we get her on the show because I know she's very busy. She's running a campaign all over the state between her and her son, and just tons of volunteers, and she's got a little bit of pushback. That's fine. She's little. She's a fighter. She can push back twice as hard, and she's got us as backup. Hey Brad. Hey, we've got Jeff in here. Tammy, Rose Kuhn. I see the gang all coming in here. The channels are all lighting up. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Facebook and YouTube. We gotta work on our YouTube because we gotta slide you guys over to YouTube. Here she comes. You are live, ma'am. Welcome aboard.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Oh, we are doing fine here in Erie, Pennsylvania. Where are you tonight?
I am in Harrisburg. This has been my home base for about the last 10 or 11 days because I've been mostly in the Northeast and the Southeast.
Wow. So how's it like? How's life out of a suitcase? How's that doing?
Well, I have a dear friend here in Harrisburg that I stay with her when I'm in Harrisburg.
Oh, that's so nice.
And so it's like a home away from home, and it's wonderful, and it's better than living out of a suitcase in a hotel every other night somewhere else. So I'm very fortunate as a candidate that I have a home away from home in Harrisburg.
That is awesome. I know when you called earlier, you're like, can you get on the show? Absolutely. I'll make time. I'll throw people off the show to bring you in here because that's how important you are to us, and your race is super important. And I put up a Facebook Live. I put up a picture of you saying, "Hey, she's coming in at 8 o'clock." Speaking of pictures, I'm going to go ahead and put your. I have the picture of your little Maria Batista, candidate for Supreme Court, and Matt Wolford, candidate for Commonwealth Court, Tuesday, October 21st, 2025, at Roscoe's Bar and Grill, and that's at 4646 Buffalo Road, Unit 3. So the ad is actually up on the screen. We'll put that up there while we're talking. But so, how do you feel, ma'am? Be honest.
Well, as you can hear from my voice, I'm
Yeah.
starting to lose my voice. I'm putting in 16, 20-hour days, and I'm certainly not complaining. I am blessed to have this opportunity uh, to be a candidate for all Pennsylvanians. You know, I may be registered Republican, but when you're a judge of all people. Justice is to be blind, and you are supposed to treat everyone with fairness and impartiality and keep any bias or politics out of the courtroom, Brian. And, for 10 months and really for 3 years, I've been preaching that. We almost won in 23. We came short by
Oh,
1.39%, even though we won in 52 of 67 counties.
right.
And, we are ready to bring it home this November 4th, but I can only do that. And Matt Wolford can only do that for Commonwealth Court if we can get people out to vote either in person on November 4th or, by voter mail-in ballot. And I saw you had a post here not too long ago that you went to the courthouse and voted on demand. Is that correct?
Yes,
Is
we did. We had
that
a big
correct?
organization. We had a couple of organizations come together on Charlie Kirk's birthday on the 14th, and that's like, I know you can't see, but we have stickers. That we gave us stickers when you vote. It says I voted for Charlie. It was his birthday. So yeah, I was able to get my camera out, and Kim Hunter took some pictures of how easy it really is to do it. You had to fill out one little form to request the ballot. Once they get it, they hand you the ballot. They instruct you how to fill it out properly and put it in the security envelope, put it in the outer envelope, and don't forget to sign and date it. I know that's kind of like a legal football game right now about the signatures, and I totally disagree. It should be on there. It's a legal document, and so that's another side story. So, what kind of cool stories can you come up with out on the campaign trail? How many people you think you actually met out and about?
We don't know, but what I can tell you is this. I've traveled over 70,000 miles. We have 20
Wow.
days to go. I got a rental van on September 4th so that I can carry hundreds of signs around with me. So if someone needs a sign or they need literature, we have it. We've distributed almost 12,500 signs since just the primary alone, not including the 5,000 in the primary. We just ordered 1,000 more, and most of those are spoken for. So that's very positive. But what I can tell you, I want to say something, Brian, that I think is very important to go to your point about mail-in ballots. This is what I've been sharing with people because not everyone trusts a mail-in ballot. But I too, like you, will be going in person next week to do a mail-in ballot on demand at the voter registration office because on election day, I will not be in Clarion County, a rural county where I live. I will be in a much larger county in the Southwest or two counties in the Southwest for Mary. Maybe I can move the needle just a little bit. And, every vote counts. So this is what I share with your listeners. There is no downfall of getting a mail-in ballot. Hear me out. So if you request a mail-in ballot and you want to vote in person on November 4th, all you have to do is bring that mail-in ballot with the two envelopes that you received in the mail with you to your voting place and relinquish them and vote as you normally would. So it doesn't prevent you from going to your polling place to vote. Now, if you forget those envelopes and the mail-in ballot, then they'll make you vote provisionally. But since the last day to request a mail-in ballot is October 28th, if something happens in that last 7 days, and you recognize then that you cannot get to the polls on November 4th, you have your plan B in place. In addition, when I've been on the trail this year, this is not just in urban areas. There's probably about 10 people that shared with me, and two were in rural counties. The rest were in more urban areas. They said they went to the poll during President Trump's cycle last year, and they went to vote in person, and they never requested a mail-in ballot. But they were told when they got to the poll that they already voted by mail-in ballot. So they had to vote provisionally. So if you request a mail-in ballot and you bring it with you, no one can tell you that you voted by mail-in ballot when you didn't, because you have the proof in your hands. So it also protects your identity. So there is truly no downfall of requesting a mail-in ballot, even if you never use it. The only caveat is that if you are able to still vote in person, you really need to bring that mail-in ballot with you so that you can vote as you normally would and you don't have to vote provisionally. I think that is critical for our listeners to know that, so that they can feel comfortable getting a mail-in ballot and still being able to vote in person on November 4th by just relinquishing it when they go to the polls. But they have protection measures in place for their identity. And if something happens, whether they get called to work to run late, they have a family member that got sick, someone passed away in a different state, whatever the case might be, they have plan B in place already. So that's very, very important for all people to recognize the benefit of at least receiving the mail-in ballot at your home.
And I agree. And those are great points. I don't even have a follow-up statement. That was so well done, because the only factor we talk about up here is the weather. People down in Pittsburgh don't get it. People in Harrisburg don't get it. We are up north as far as you can go in Pennsylvania, and Mother Nature, she can be a real bugger and just give us a good beat down on the weather. And people, I hate to say it, are fair weather voters. Oh, it's too cold, it's too wet, I don't want to go out, there's a little bit of slush on the road. No, those are okay excuses. But if you have your mail-in ballot, you just take care of it, and it's done, and it's taken care of. My mom and dad, they still drive, but they don't like to drive as much as they used to, and I get that. They have a mail-in ballot; it's not a problem. They fill them up, boop, they go. Last year we had some problems, and that was because our Democrat-controlled Board of Elections really didn't know what they were doing, and they really dropped the ball on that one. So yeah, I mean, how and I know you and Matt, that you guys spend a lot of time together. I mean, you guys become close, and you've really been able to talk shop, or you guys just talk campaign stuff. Where you when you get elected.
Once in a while, we get a chance to talk to each other, and I talked to Matt's wife, Marion, who's absolutely lovely, and my son talks to their team as well.
Yeah.
So, we are traveling in different directions most of the time, but we are also traveling to the same events as well. So it just depends. We're running two different races, even though we're teammates. So if I go somewhere, I talk about Matt, and then when he goes somewhere, he talks about me too. Both courts are very important, and for your listeners, I think it's also important to understand this about the Superior Court. No matter where I go, people want to keep their communities safe. We've seen a lot that has happened with officers being shot, some killed in the line of duty here in Pennsylvania. We all saw in some fashion what happened to Charlie Kirk, which was an unbelievable travesty. He was assassinated just being peaceful with his First Amendment rights. But what the court does in Superior Court is it hears all criminal cases on appeal in Pennsylvania. All Pennsylvanians want their communities to be safe. On the Superior Court, there are 15 judges. Now, it should not matter what our party affiliation is. When we take the oath to be a judge on the Superior Court, we take an oath, that we're going to uphold our laws, and our Pennsylvania and U.S. constitutions as intended. But sometimes we've seen that there's been some judicial activism, or a judge has legislated from the bench. And what that means is they're trying to create new law, which is not the role of a judge. That is the role of your state representatives and your state senators. And that law would be signed in by the governor. And so, but if you are a betting person, and Brian, I'm not, most cases in the Superior Court are heard by a panel of 3 judges. It is random. Well, you have 8 Democrats, you have 6 Republicans, and you have 1 vacancy for which I'm running. So the likelihood of what the makeup of that panel of 3 is going to be currently, more often than any other makeup, is 2 Democrats, 1 Republican. Again, as I said earlier, it shouldn't matter. They should be all doing what's right when they're sitting in that capacity. But that is what the makeup would be of most of those 3 panels, because of how they've been elected by the people in this Commonwealth. It doesn't matter if you are Democrat, Independent, Libertarian, unaffiliated, Republican, or some other party. What you want in whoever you decide to vote for is someone that is going to make sure that it is equal justice under the law, and justice is to be blind regardless of who you are, what county you come from, what street you live on, what your last name is, what your zip code is, what your ethnic or socioeconomic background is. Because when you go into a courtroom, and in the Superior Court, it's a review. So we don't get to see the witnesses. We're reviewing a cold transcript and all the evidence that is brought up to that court. You want someone that's going to look thoroughly through the review of that case to determine if there was an error by your Court of Common Pleas. That's about 60% of the cases. And I've had district attorneys call me, Brian, where I saw them on the campaign trail, and they say, you won't believe this case came down by a panel of 3 judges in the Superior Court. Now I have to advise law enforcement differently on what they can and can't do because of the decision in the Superior Court, because about 97% of the cases in the Superior Court become final, and we are all subject to those decisions, even if we're never a party to the action. So the next 40% are civil cases that you would see in your Court of Common Pleas. Not all, but most of the civil cases. We all care about our property rights. We care about our family, our children, and our grandchildren. We care about the assets of a loved one if they pass away. Where do they go? We care about contracts. We care about businesses and small businesses. And we also care that if someone is injured, that they have rights to pursue an action. Now, I'm not talking about workers' comp because that's a little different. But all of those types of categories of cases, if appealed from your Court of Common Pleas in Erie County or any of the other 66 counties in Pennsylvania, would go to the Superior Court, and in about 97% of cases, they become final. I am the only candidate of 3 that is a former prosecutor that I've worked closely with law enforcement, to my knowledge, based on what I've seen. I am the only candidate that has had a broad civil practice of law in the types of areas that I just shared with you, including in property, real estate, oil, and gas matters, whether it's child custody, wills and estates, business matters, contracts. I even did insurance defense and personal injury earlier in my career. And I've issued hundreds of decisions similar to what a judge would be when you're on the Superior Court. I served under 2 governors, Governor Corbett and into Governor Wolf's administration. I was a hearing examiner for over 3 years. Now, the type of law I was reviewing was something different. It was called administrative law because they were government cases against an individual or an entity. But the same types of skills that I had for writing very complex decisions, for evaluating the evidence, the credibility of the witnesses, are the same skills that are necessary for a judge on the Superior Court. The other thing that I have that, again, I don't know, but to my knowledge, my opponents don't have, is that I was a mediator for a number of years. I was the top mediator in the Office of General Counsel Mediation Program when I was serving in a capacity of a mediator. I settled every case successfully except for one, That was settled shortly after the mediation was over. You have to have incredible uh, listening skills when you're a third party mediator, evaluating and trying to help both sides to come to some settlement. You have to be fair and impartial to all. Those types of listening skills is underrated when you're a judge, but you have to listen very carefully. You have to review the evidence when you're writing it, because when you issue a decision, you're supposed to be looking at the facts of that specific case and review the law that is of issue. And if there's a constitutional issue, you review that as well. And then you vote with that panel of three, and then there's a decision being made. And so it's very important. The other thing that I have that's not required, let me be clear, it is not required to be a judge on the Superior Court, but very helpful to aid the court and for me to help potentially be a continuing legal education lecturer, is in the case of children and those with special needs and autism. If you've heard any of the types of things that Senator Kennedy has talked about in the news at the federal level, 1 in 12.5 boys has autism. 1 in over 30 some children nationwide are diagnosed on the autism spectrum. Many children today have many types of special needs. Those children are some of those children that are in those custody cases that, if appealed, go to the Superior Court. I'm the only candidate. I have 5 degrees. 3 are in education. I have an elementary degree. I've taught in the K through 12 setting. I've taught in higher education. I have a master's in education, and I have a doctorate in education. That's in addition to my law degree, which is also a doctorate, and another degree, another bachelor's in speech communication. If you were a party to an action, Brian, or any one of your listeners, and you had a child or a grandchild that was the person in the child that you're evaluating the best interest, and it was appealed because one of the parties, whether it's a parent against another parent or a parent, another third party, or whatever it might be, to review the best interest of the child because they've believed that a judge on the court below abused his or her discretion, would you rather have one of the 3 judges on that court that has actually had experience with children with special needs to do that help with that evaluation when it's being reviewed? Some of the cases with children with special needs in school districts, IEPs, whatever case might be, not again required by a judge, because we're all supposed to review all the evidence, but to have a deeper understanding of those issues to help determine if there was in fact an error from the court below. Would you rather have someone on that panel of 3 that has that background? Most people would say yes. I'm the only candidate with that background, actually, in all of the appellate courts in Pennsylvania. So I could be one of those faculty members that help train the judges in your county or any of the counties. We have what they call now autism in the courts, and it's a roundtable. One of our prior chief justices of our Pennsylvania Supreme Court started it because of the number of children that have been diagnosed on the autism spectrum. These children are in our court systems, and our judges are not equipped or trained, and it's not their fault. They've never had the experience of being around maybe children with those needs, and maybe they don't understand that they can't sit still in a courtroom. They don't understand or learn the same way. And so I've been a continuing faculty legal educator in mediation matters, healthcare matters, and oral arguments before appellate courts. I haven't done it in the autism realm, but I've helped many families and, in this area for over 20 years. So I do have additional knowledge that I can bring to the court outside of the regular requirements of being a judge on this court. So I am very well-rounded. I'm very well equipped to be a judge that is ready on day one to tackle any of the types of cases that would be appealed and assigned to me in my chambers. And I would be honored and humbled by the support of your listeners, regardless of who they are, regardless of how they are registered to vote, on either November 4th or by mail-in ballot.
It's funny watching. I know you're on a phone, but I'm sitting here watching the chat log going by, and everybody loves you. They're going to vote for you. People have already said, "I've already voted for you," and people are saying, "I am going to vote for you." So if there was a straw poll and you were going to get elected on just this show, you're in. In. Everybody here loves you. You've done a great job. Your son, I mean, come on, let's give him some credit. He is a nice young man.
He's
I
amazing. My
know.
older son, Joey, has
Yes.
been working day and night and even has a regular job on top of it. We're both sleeping 3, 4, 5 hours at night at best. But we have 20 days to go. And Brian, if there's one thing and thank you, your listeners, for your support and voting for me. I feel very blessed. I feel blessed with this opportunity to run again. You know, the best compliment, Brian, that I think I've received over the last 3 months, and I've received a number of them, was from a young man, probably my son's age, around 29, maybe a little older, maybe a little younger, not sure. But I was at an event in Lycoming County, and he came over to me and he shook my hand and he said, you seem so real. You're approachable. You're one of us. And I said, I'm no different than you or anyone else. And if there's one thing my one professor said and my father said, my father grew up during the Depression. He was in World War II. He was one of the oldest parents when I was growing up. And he said, you treat everyone with the same respect, whether they are someone that is a custodian or the president of a company. My professor said everyone puts their pants on the same way and zips them up the same way, and we all one day will, no longer be on this earth. And we can't take our possessions with us. We can't take anything with us. So you have to do what's right for every person every single day, whether that's your family, your friends, someone you meet on the street. It could be as simple as a word, a kind word, opening a door for someone, helping them if you see there's a need. It doesn't matter what it is. We are all, and the people of Erie, I love Erie. I love people I've met across this Commonwealth in all 67 counties. People care about their communities, their family, and they work hard every single day. And, with the inflation and everything else we've seen over the last 10 years, 5 years in particular, it's been really hard with the COVID shutdowns and everything else. And the last thing that they want is if they find themselves in front of a court that they have to worry about one more thing when they can barely keep it together for their families and their jobs and whoever else that they're taking care of, to worry about whether they're going to get a fair shake in a courtroom. And it is up to us as voters to do the best we can and become informed as much as we can to vote for the people that we believe are going to represent all people. And I can tell you, I am committed to doing that. I am from northwestern Pennsylvania, Brian, just like you. I'm from Clarion County, and Matt, my teammate, is from your county, Erie. We're both from northwestern Pennsylvania. I share the values of the people on your call right now. And all I want is to protect one more seat on the Superior Court so that we can protect one more judge's decisions when that opportunity arises to do what's right. And I hope that my message will resonate across the Commonwealth with voters, that on November 4th, hopefully on November 4th, it doesn't carry on to the next few days after that, that we will have one more judge on that court that's going to do what's right for all people without bias or prejudice and keeping politics out of our courtroom. Brian, you and I have talked about this before, but I ask this question and sometimes I forget. But this is the last thing I'd like to leave your voters with, your listeners with, is this. Do you believe, whether you like Trump or not, it doesn't matter. Do you believe when Trump turned his head just enough in Butler last year that it was divine intervention that he was saved that day? And I can tell you, when I ask that question in my travels, most, if not all, people in that room say yes, and they raise their hand. You remember 2 years ago, because I was with you when my arm was in a sling.
Right. Putting up yard signs.
We're at October. Yeah, we're at October 15th. It was October 22nd.
Yes.
2 years ago. It was a Sunday. I went to church that morning in an inner city church in Harrisburg. I traveled up to Wyoming or Wayne County at the tip of the north of our state, the Northeast. And then I was coming back down and I noticed in a particular area that there weren't signs. So I changed my clothes and went out, put some signs out along the side of the road. And I was hit as a pedestrian. I woke up in the hospital. I didn't know where I was, why I was there. I didn't remember that I was even hit by a car. And I do believe, after looking at the pictures and everything else, that the prayers that day that they prayed over me, and they said, keep her safe in her travels, which is not something that you usually hear when you're in the church setting when they're praying over someone. It was that night. I believe there was a hedge of protection. I do believe that I was saved from being killed, a quadriplegic or a paraplegic. Yes, I had a lot of injuries, a fractured right hip, broken clavicle, torn rotator cuffs, a massive sprained ankle, concussions, massive contusions. I was in therapies all last year. I still have to have surgery on my left shoulder. But I am here and I've worked hard all this year because I was saved for a reason. And I do believe in my heart that I'm here because of this purpose. And if for whatever reason, Brian, we are not successful on November 4th, although I believe we will be, that is because God has a different plan for me.
And I agree. And
But
that's when you earn my respect. You were run over by a car, and you were able to just kind of like put you back together and still go out and put yard signs up. I'm like, oh my God, this woman is amazing. Yeah, she's got the qualifications. She's got the education. She's got the experience. She's got that intestinal fortitude that won't quit. And that's where I'm like, all right, you sold me. You got me on the education. That's great, great resume. That's great. You're a fighter. And then when you were so close, you just didn't throw your hands up in the air and say, I'm not going to ever do that again. I lost. Here we are again. And now you're going to get it. Now you've got a clear path. And we've been pushing and cleaning the path out of your way here in Erie County. And like I said, the people in this room right now, if you have the time, go back on YouTube, watch it, and look at the comments, how much you are loved and appreciated in this room.
Well, thank you so much, Brian. I'm working hard.
Yes.
Like I said, Matt's working hard. He's running for Commonwealth Court. And for those that don't know what that court does, Brian, it hears government cases. So all the criminal and most civil go to the Superior Court, and government cases, whether it's from a state agency against an individual or entity, or it's a municipal issue or school funding case, those go to, and election law cases go to the Commonwealth Court. We have to protect both these courts, and Matt and I are working very hard. And if people can't remember our names, his wife Marion and I were saying, hey, remember M&Ms, because it's Matt and Maria. We both start with an M, and we both like the same types of M&Ms. We like the peanut M&Ms.
Oh,
So, if people can't remember who we are, just remember M&M. There's no other candidates listed for Superior and Commonwealth that their first name starts with the letter M.
Yeah, your signs are everywhere. Tim Kuzma's out there. You guys are on the main drag here in Harbor Creek. Both of your signs are up. They're showing up all over the place. The small signs are showing up. And, I've been to a lot of events where you spoke, and it's fun to watch you. I'm not being creepy. I'm just saying it's fun to watch you work the crowd. You know how to work a crowd, and people are very receptive to you. And people don't realize that this little powerhouse is little. How tight is
Small
it?
but mighty, Brian.
Right,
Small
exactly.
But mighty.
We were talking about this at the women's luncheon. I said, "What is with these powerhouse women?" We have you. Your name came up, of course. Miss Kuhn came up, short little person, and Anne. That these are the women that really kind of move the needle around here in Erie County. But they're these short little powerhouses of just dynamite. So, again, the room, you've got the room. They love you. They're supporting you. People that have voted said they have voted for you. One guy's like, oh my God, I'm really glad I voted for her. So you got a lot of love and support coming out of this room, ma'am.
Well, I can't thank you and all those in Erie that have worked so hard, putting signs out, spreading the word, giving literature, just helping me when I come up there. When I'm at different events, you, Brian, taking pictures too. I mean, Tim Kuzma doing the big signs,
Yep.
you helping him, others helping him. I mean, this is a team effort. This is not a single individual running. This is a team effort across the entire Commonwealth. We cannot do this alone.
No.
If you and I said to people too, not only is it a team effort, you got to think of this sort of like something that two things that you have to do as a candidate. And anyone that's around you that believes in you, they're doing the same thing. Is if you're training for the Olympics, you train every day for years, consistently, whether you want to get out of bed or not, for a moment of maybe 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whether it's skiing, ice skating, gymnastics. If it's football, it's a couple hours to watch a game. You train for years to become great. When I was training to become a concert pianist in my much earlier life, I was training 4, 6, 10 hours a day. I have not missed one day, Brian, this year of campaigning. Not one.
And
Not one.
you could have taken the night off, taken it easy because you didn't have anything scheduled. You reached out to Brian Shank in Erie, Pennsylvania, and with boots on the ground, here we are talking about you. And as soon as you say goodbye, we're going to play your promotional video that you sent us right after we're done talking.
Yeah, so just tell your voters, and I'm telling them myself here, your vote is your voice. Many states, the states do not allow you to vote for your judges. They are appointed. Pennsylvania is one of the few states left that you can actually vote for your judges. So your vote is your voice. The video that Brian's going to share is 1 minute, 50 seconds. It's titled Determined to Make a Difference. My son, Joey, helped write that script because he knows me better than just about anyone. He said, Mom, you've always told us that one person can make a difference. And it goes to my rural roots and working hard and wanting to do what's right with integrity and all that I do. And if anyone is free next a week on October 21st, we would love to have you. Matt would love to have you at our event in Erie. It starts at 5:30 to 7. And I'm drawing a blank because I don't have that ad up in front of me. Right?
It's Rocco's.
Rocco's Sports Bar
Yes.
and Grill.
We know. Trust me, they got there. I've been flashing it back and forth. One of our guests said, "Who's talking?" And I would put your picture up, and then we would put your ad up. About the Rocco's. They got the world's best hamburgers there. Trust me, veteran owned. It used to be a skating rink. They converted it to a multifaceted restaurant.
Oh, wow. I can't wait. I don't get the chance to eat much on the campaign trail just anywhere. So I'm looking forward to some good protein and a good hamburger.
Yeah. Well,
that's always great. Well, Brian, thank you so much. Thank you to the listeners for listening to us this evening. And I certainly appreciate any support. My website is Batista for Judge, BATTISTA for Judge. You can volunteer there. There's still time to help the campaign. You can follow us on Facebook and share our posts to get my name out there. My son also put me on Instagram and X. It's Maria Batista for Judge on Instagram and Batista with the number 4 Judge on X. So thank you so much, Brian. It's been an honor to be with you this evening, and I truly appreciate your support and all that from your friends and my friends and those voters out there that believe in my candidacy in Erie County. Thank you so much, and I look forward to coming next week.
Yes, I have to work. I'm going to try to get out of that schedule. Everything's on Tuesdays, and for some reason I get stuck working on Tuesdays. So I'm going to try to take it off to come see you because we just want you guys to know that you're well loved. And Miss Coon, Miss Coon, Rose Coon, right here in Erie. She goes, "Love you, Maria. God bless you." I think that's
I love Rose. I love all of the folks there, and I love the people that have just gone the extra mile for me to help push me over the top to make me successful in Erie County. And together, again, this is one team, one fight, and together we can achieve and have a victory, not only for me, for judge of the Superior Court, but for Matt Wolford for candidate of the Commonwealth Court. Thank you so much, Brian.
You call back anytime. Just let me know when you want to come back on, and we'll fit you in, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
All
Have a
right,
great
go
evening.
relax a minute, would you? All right.
That's not in my vocabulary. Thanks, Brian. Bye-bye.
Good night. I'll talk to you. Well, there you go.
Determined to serve. Determined to make a difference. Determined to provide equal justice under the law for all Pennsylvanians. Growing up in a small rural county in Pennsylvania taught me the value of hard work. It showed me the importance of respect for one another while maintaining integrity in everything you do. Women from areas like mine do not often have the opportunity to run for statewide political office. I knew that I could be the change and make a difference where it mattered most. As a former prosecutor and private practitioner, my background and experience of the law provides me the requisite requirements that are needed for a judge on the Superior Court, especially in criminal matters and those involving families and children. Pennsylvania needs judges who will interpret the law as written and the Constitution as intended. Judges who are ready to serve. What Pennsylvania needs is someone who is determined to make a difference. I am that person. I humbly ask for your vote on November 4th, Maria Batista, for Judge of the Superior Court.
Well, there you go. Really easy. We spoon feed this information to you. We vet these people. We go through it and say, this is who we really, really want. And it was funny. Maria called me earlier today. She's like, well, can I come on the show? Of course. She goes, well, can you play my flyer? Of course. She goes, well, how much would you charge me to run your ad? I'm like, man, we're not a profit here. We don't do that. This is not what we're here for. We're here to get the information out to the people that need it the most, the voters. We want them well educated. And I don't want anybody to say, well, Brian's just doing it for the money. No, this cost us money. We don't make any money. We've had a couple of donations here and there to buy this, that, and the other thing. But it basically comes out of our pockets. And we got Kim. Hi, Kim.
Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good evening.
Yeah, we had a good time with Maria.
I know. I just love her. Speaking of when she broke her arm, I still have that picture of you and I, Maria, short little Maria, up at the big Erie sign, when she came down here with her little arm broken. Oh,
her little wing.
I just love her to death, and I have a good feeling God's going to make sure she wins.
Right. So we're going to have to make it kind of quick because that was a 45-minute call. So we want to keep it reasonable. So what you got?
Well, I have some numbers, everybody.
Lay it on.
So, I watched the elections meeting and I talked to Mrs. Fernandez, and the Democrats, as of September 26th, have 17,000 and the difference basically is we only have a 4,000 registration difference between the Republicans and Democrats.
Wow.
So we have the votes. We can win because I feel very strongly that Democrat turnout's not going to be that high, according to what I saw in the primaries. Here is the problem we have so far. 14,000 Democrats have already turned in their mail-in ballots. Only 4,000 Republicans have turned in their mail-in ballots.
That's in Erie County, correct?
That's in Erie County.
Right. Well, because that's where they get the mathematical little traction is they have always outdone us with the mail-in ballots because as I roll my eyes in the back of my head, the Republicans, we get out, we vote in person. Well, okay, but I've got some math behind you, and data says, no, you don't. And that's like, well, we don't like mail-in ballots. Okay, then fine, get out and vote. Well, my truck had to have its oil changed, and I had a spare tire. Then they don't vote. So then, I mean, I'm not holding my breath. However, we've got, Turning Point. We've got Scott Pressler and his guys out there just push, 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 push. I
Right.
have high confidence that we're going to do the right thing on election day.
Right. I'm hoping. Now, guys, like we've been saying, you can go to Erie County Courthouse if you live close enough, or your county, whatever county you live in. You can go to your courthouse. You can vote early in person until they close at 4 o'clock. Brian and I both did it. It took less than 5 minutes. Swear to Jesus, it was so easy. And I talked to Scott Pressler today. He goes, I'm sounding the alarm bells on this, because it's not just our local races, it's for these judges. We have to vote non-retention, except for our 2 local judges. We want to keep those. I always remember it as we need more time with Meade. If we don't take care of this, these are the judges that kept us locked down during COVID. They ruined a whole generation of school students. They lost us so many of our small businesses, and we have still not recuperated from that.
Yeah.
So this is so very, very important to us right now.
Yeah. I'm flashing the put the no in November ad with their names. And of course, I had the counter one because the local judges are nervous that they're going to get caught up in this whole big no campaign. They're correct. No on the state, yes on the county. Real simple, boys and girls. No on the state, yes on the county. And I have an example. Actually, I took a screenshot of a ballot. I filled it out for the local judges. There's no excuse. You just have to flip it over to the backside.
Correct. And we are looking for people to greet voters. If you have even a half an hour, it makes all the difference. Most people do not know who they're going to vote for when they get to the polls. They don't stay up to date. I appreciate everybody who's watching the Facebook things. This Jasmine Flores has gotten way out of hand.
Oh,
And unfortunately, a lot of people do not stay up to date on the social media, and she could possibly win if we don't get those votes out. And myself, people who know me know I will respect everybody, no matter what your political affiliation is, no matter if you're a boy, a girl, your sex, your race, and gender. So I'm really hoping I can get some support from all of you guys, and you can spread the word. Unfortunately, we went out and put up a bunch of yard signs, and they've been stolen. Now, this is not a big glamorous race. God bless Brenda and Brian. We have ran my campaign on basically $3,000. So we are looking for a few donations to buy another box of yard signs. They are expensive. So we're looking for another $200 in donations to buy another box of yard signs. So if anybody can help out, get a hold of Brian, Brenda, or myself. My website is makeeriegreatagain.net. And if anybody can help us out in that way, we would really appreciate it. Because if it wasn't for Brian and Brenda, I would have been lost. Because unfortunately, when you're not running a big race, people tend to not donate. So, and I hope I get to see everybody next Tuesday at Roscoe's. Come on out, meet Maria, meet Matt. A lot of other candidates will be there, and it will be so much fun. So I'm going to let everybody go, and I'll talk to y'all a little bit more on Sunday. And with that, thank you, Brian and Brenda, for all of your love and support. I couldn't have done this without you guys. And just remember, if you're deciding to go vote or not, remember that great feeling we got after the last election when we not only won the presidency, but we took all of our state row offices. So with that, thank you guys. I hope you all have a blessed evening. Bye-bye.
All right, talk to you. Well, I've got this up on the screen, and this is what Kim was talking about. I wanted to work this into here, and that's a great segue. A county employee was hired by the Democrat-controlled county council and city council person are members of the Democrat Socialist of America Facebook page here in Erie. Christy Knibis ran against Dan Laughlin, got her backside kicked all over the place. Now, the Democrat-controlled county council hired Christy Knibis which was the vice chair of the Democrat Party as the Human Relations Commission. That's on the chopping block. Brenton's got that defunded because it's actually a waste of money. You know, we've tried to defund it a couple of times and council just makes it hang on there. It's redundant and it's been defunded. This is where we're going to get stuck in the mud with the budget with these Democrats, because now they're going to protect one of their own, Christy Knibis, which is I don't know if she's still the vice chair of the Democrat Party, but now she's a proud member of the Socialist Party here. And Jasmine Flores, Miss Racist herself, is also a proud member. Not Photoshop, not AI, just a screenshot. And that's exactly my post that I posted about this baloney. And it needs to stop. And this is what the city of Erie is, it's dying a slow, painful death, but we just keep voting the same people and over again. The Democrat, I don't have a fortune. I'm not a fortune teller. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know who's going to win the D or the R. Of course, we want the R. But it's vote blue no matter who. But then they sit there and bitch and moan and complain the whole time about it. Can't make it up, folks. There it is. We just bring you the facts. We bring you the facts. Gotta get rid of that. Sorry. Well, okay, on to more funner stuff. Bad English. I gotta do a little bragging here at this point. There it is. There's the official winner of the 2025 People's Choice Awards for Radio Personnel /Show. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you over here. And I want to thank you, Dave. I didn't see Dave in the room, and he usually calls, but hey, he does what he wants. Dave put a little video together. Brenda, if you'd be so kind. This is not. Again, thanks, Dave. We appreciate that great video. I threw him some pictures, and he just works his magic, and I get it in my instant messenger. So thank you. Thank you all for voting. I appreciate it. I promise it won't go to my head. A little bit, maybe. But yeah, so we started out in the local stuff, and we bumped up to the state stuff. So this one is this is President Trump doing what President Trump does. No ABC fake news. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but Brenda, roll it.
Your ABC fake news.
Mr. President,
First of all,
I
congratulations.
don't take questions from ABC fake news. After what you did with Stephanopoulos to the Vice President of the United States, don't take questions from ABC fake news. Brian, go ahead.
Oh man, can you imagine a Sleepy Joe being treated like that, being talked to like that? They handled him with kid gloves and threw snowballs at him. No hard balls, no fastballs. But Trump talks these media people every day, and they just try to pound him in the ground. And I love the fact that he just won another huge lawsuit from YouTube, and he's like, "Well, yeah, I think we're gonna take that money and we're gonna pay for that great, magnificent ballroom." Did you wonder where he was gonna get the money from? Ha! From YouTube for their shenanigans and tomfoolery and stuff. Greg Carr, thanks for coming in from New York. It's nice to see the folks from across the border coming in. We appreciate everybody. Steve had a good question about that. Emmy, thanks for coming in. It's nice to see our folks from Crawford County popping in here. Yes, thank you. Oh, it was you guys that voted, man. I did it. I was nominated, didn't even know I was nominated. I talked about it on the show, shotgun a couple, hey, could you show me some support, some love? And I ended up winning, and it was a great time. Brenda and I had never been to a big fancy smancy award event like that. She got her hair all made up, and and did her makeup. I did my hair and put my makeup on, and we got all dressed up, and off we went. So it's my award. It's your award. We're waiting for the plaque to come back, but that's the actual little piece of paper they give us. This says, "Here you go." I got to take it up to Rob's framing shop and get that framed, and I'll hang it somewhere here in the office. So yeah, let's see here. We got to pay some bills. So Brenda, John Birch, please.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The Declaration of Independence proclaims God-given rights, and we intend to protect them. Working with people like you for over 50 years, preserving freedom and building a better tomorrow. Safeguarding the Constitution by limiting government power. We are restoring liberties, educating voters, and leading the freedom movement. Join with us. United, we will defend our rights. We are all Americans. We are the John Birch Society.
There you go. Great organization. Check them out. Go online. They have tons and tons of information on all the shenanigans that go around the world that they're trying to chip away at this and that, the other thing. And Dr. John Diamond is our local rep, Air Force veteran, Second Amendment guy. Him and I, we go out to lunch and we talk about politics, and he ran for state rep, I believe. Nice, clean campaign, which I would expect from someone of his caliber. Yeah, he's an Air Force guy. You know how they are. But just a great guy and loves his country. I haven't talked to him in a while. I know he's a busy guy. He has his own podcast. I was on his talk show when I ran for sheriff, and we talked about the Constitution and constitutional sheriffs and all that fun stuff. Now, we would not be a very good news source if we didn't talk about our 20 hostages being released. Now let's just cross our fingers that that the terrorists behave themselves. And I would really like to have somebody call the show that is one of the free Palestine people. What are they going to bitch about this week? Because they're free. Are the gay for Palestine people going to go over there to help rebuild their city? I'm just curious how they're going to handle this now that they got nothing to complain about. Oh, now it's the no king thing, which I don't understand this. We threw the king out 250 years ago, but now they just want to reinvent the wheel that Trump's a king. No, it's a republic. It's a democracy. The people voted for him. Sorry that your candidate didn't win. They're just piss poor losers. we had to eat crow. We had to like suck it up when we had to deal with Barack Hussein Obama for all those years. And then, they installed Sniffy Joe, and then they installed Kamala Harris, and we had to deal with their crap. And now we're going to spend the next, 4 to 8 years cleaning up their mess. It's so funny. Watch. It's so funny to watch the Democrats get all fired up that Trump is going to run for office again. Oh, they can't do that. It's against the Constitution. Bark, 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 scream, hate, spew, hate, burn. Rah. He didn't say which Trump. There's a whole herd of Trumps running out there that, yeah, they said Trump will run for president. He didn't say Donald Trump was going to run. I'm not going to run for president again because we could. No, technically he can't. So it's just fun to watch the haters just hate. And they're so dumb, they actually feed into his shenanigans. He plays them like a Stradivari violin. He really does. And it's hilarious because they just don't get it. They're being played, people. Well, you guys are Nazis. No, actually, the Nazis didn't like the Jewish folks and tried to eliminate them. We tried to save them. So yeah, I think that's a really fast DQ on that we're Nazis. But again, the Democrat Party comes up whatever the hate word they're going to come up with this week. Like I said, 2 weeks ago it was code red. It's code red. Everything's a code red. Oh, new scum, get over yourself. Let's see, what do we got on deck here? So yeah, oh yeah, that was a long intro. Sorry, 20 hostages freed. Play it, please.
11:34 in the morning on this Monday in Israel. It is a historic day, and you are watching history unfold. This is the Knesset in Jerusalem, the Israeli parliament building. President Trump has been invited to speak to the Knesset. He has been obviously very involved in the peace negotiations that have resulted in what you see on the banner at the bottom of your screen there. All 20 living hostages now confirmed to have been released by Hamas. Israel is releasing nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners in return, and there are the bodies of 28 hostages who died while in horrific conditions in Hamas captivity. Those bodies are going to be returned in the coming days, perhaps weeks, because it is not known where all of them.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be an ongoing process. I mean, you have to trust some terrorists to do the right thing and behave themselves. And there was a report. I haven't been able to verify it or not, that one of the remains that was returned was not one of the people that were listed missing. So again, it's just the internet. You take it with a grain of salt because you just absolutely have no idea how good their intel is. Steve, I don't know how smart this is, but I want to go down to the No Kings rally with my Make America Great hat on and my Charlie Kirk Freedom shirt. It is your right. You have the right to do that, but I would make sure you're with somebody. Just shoot us a text. We'll help you out with that. If that's something you really want to do, let us know. And I think there's a couple people thinking about going down there. Blah blah blah. So yeah. Now this is the let's see, the Nobel Peace Prize winner. Now people got their knickers in a knot that Trump did not get it. Well, boys and girls, there's rules, and the rules are very simple. The application and names have to be submitted in January for the committee to meet and go over all the stuff and all the facts and stuff to determine who's going to get it. Because there's just not just there's the Nobel Peace Prize, there's science, there's all this fuddy-duddy stuff. So he was not qualified because he was not put in for it in time. He couldn't have because he just took office in January. January is where you have to apply, right? Or submit your name. So the lovely lady from Venezuela that won the Nobel Peace Prize, talk about a great human being. Can't talk tonight. video.
They decided to dedicate it to President Trump because he deserves it. Because not only has he been involved in only a few months in solving 8 wars, but his actions have been decisive to have Venezuela now at a threshold of freedom after 26 years of tyranny that have destroyed the lives of millions of Venezuela, destabilized the region, and undermined the institutions in the United States, because having Venezuela as a safe haven of the enemies of the United States and using our territory and our resources to hurt the American people and American institutions is certainly a threat to the national security of the United States and the security of the hemisphere. But President Trump has been very clear, courageous in terms of dismantling this criminal structure. And on behalf of the Venezuelan people, I reaffirmed our gratitude and our commitment to this cause for the whole America. So I insist he deserves it.
Now, talk about a person that is just a great, humble human being. She earned it. She fought hard for the people in her country to get rid of the actual dictators and kings and communism and fascism and all the isms that we don't like. That's where the real deal is, not here where you can stand in the middle of the road and scream that you hate the president. But if we actually had a king, he probably wouldn't let you do that. He wouldn't let you peacefully demonstrate against the monarchy, the monarch. So nice try. It's nothing but hate. It's nothing but spin. It's all about propaganda. It's just, I was going to make it through. I almost said the word I'm not supposed to say. I've been doing really good. We've been talking for an hour and 11 minutes, and I didn't say the word I'm not supposed to say. Yes, Stan, you're absolutely right. Can we please give this woman another Nobel Peace Prize for just being a damn good human being? I mean, come on. That is humble at the extreme. She wins it. No, President Trump deserved it. He did a lot more work than I did. I saw that story break, and I'm like, we got to put that on there because the haters will hate. But everybody relax. They didn't overlook the president. He was not technically qualified because his name was not submitted in January like it's supposed to. Relax, easy. Don't be a Democrat. Don't get your knickers in a knot. Don't get upset. It's no big deal. It'll work itself out. Next January, they will not have any excuse not to give it to him, considering how many little war skirmishes, 7, 8 that he's had. All right, guys, we're gonna knock this off. We're gonna be peaceful now. Don't make me come in there. And like I heard him on the news just today on the radio. I was listening to one of the I was listening to 105.9 on one of the national syndicated talk shows. There, he's like, "You guys violate these rules. We're gonna come in there. We're gonna enforce the rules." So there you go. So Hamas, it would behoove you to knock your shenanigans off. Oh yeah. So PA women's swimming. I can't read it. Where that? Sorry. Steve, just shoot me a text when I'm off the show. We'll talk. Brenda, next video, please.
Well, look what just happened. So the University of Pennsylvania, yes, that Ivy League school that likes to bend over backwards for the woke mob, just got a dose of reality check, okay, from good old common sense and a little something we like to call Trump pressure. After 47 himself came out and said, you ain't getting a dime until you fix this mess, and let me tell you, they folded faster than a freaking cheap lawn chair at a church picnic. And now they're stripping Lee Thomas of every single woman's swimming record he stole. And guess who's getting those records back? Real women. Biological women. Women who actually earned it. And I gotta give credit where credit is due, and that is to Miss Riley Gaines. Girl, you have been the backbone of this movement since day freaking one. You've been out here swinging harder than a screen door in a hurricane, okay? Girl, you have came in and you have shook the system. And proud ain't even the word. And let me say this plain and clear for the people in the way back. Men do not belong in women's sports. Period. End of the daggum story. And before you freaking start, no, this is not hate. This is about fairness, biology, and respecting the grind of every single woman out there who has busted their tail in just to have someone come in and steal their spotlight who's not even supposed to be on the roster. This is a huge win for every biological female out there who has been told to sit down, shut up, and take it. No, ma'am, no, sir, not anymore. Because we are standing up, speaking out, and we are taking it back. So to everyone who is finally waking up and using the 7 pounds of gray matter between their earlobes, welcome to reality, sweetheart, because this is what happens when you stop being polite and you start being proud. We're proud of our women, we're proud of our country, and we're proud of the fight. But let this be a forewarning to all of you. We're just getting warmed up.
The people from down south have got the most amazing, funny thing. I couldn't even think of how to come up with those little antical equations that she does about faster than a storm during a hurricane. Well, that's true, and I get that that a cheap lawn chair. That's true too. I get that. Well, we had a little bit longer. Like I said, we wanted to, Maria called in and said, "Hey, I want to come on the show." We are always receptive to bringing the candidates in here. She had some free time, and she's like, "Okay, what can we do? Call Brian." Call Brian, and we'll get. I said, "Ma'am, don't worry about it." Well, what do I do? Oh, yeah, nothing. Don't worry about it. We do this show out of the kindness of our heart. Our supporters, our co-op, want to hear the truth. So, and that's exactly. Stan, it was good. It was a little on the scarce side. There wasn't a ton of people there. We know people are busy. It's during the day. Like working folks like you can't make it. It was just it was fine. We had a good time. Caleb from Scott Pressler's team was there, and they talked about the voting and all that good stuff, and we gave out some yard signs, the no retention yard signs, and it was a good time. That's what we do. The lunch was pretty good. Sim Burger can't beat it. And it was. I forgot to tell Brenda the story. So during the luncheon, it's the lunch is $15. So you got $5 left over from a 20. You put it into 50-50. If you win the 50-50, you take half. So Mel, she goes, "Hey, pick a number." So I stick my hand in a can, and I look away, and I'm feeling around and everything, and I pull it out. I pick my own ticket. Everybody looked at me, and I'm like, "Did you just pick your own ticket?" I'm like, "Yes." Like, rigged, fixed, rigged. I said, "Relax, I'm donating it back. It's fine. I don't need it." So yeah, so that was a good time. Now our outro song, we've changed a little bit, because there's dealing with music online is such a that's what that's what I asked. What did you add? And I didn't know it's so small I can't see it. So fundraiser for the band 814. Now the band 814 was the group of men and women that came down and put on an amazing show for the Charlie Kirk Vigil. So let's show them some love and kind of pay it back for what they did for us, for our team. So there it is. 10, 18, and 25, 3 to 7, Grace Bible Church, 5200 Yale Drive, Erie, PA 16510. $12 at the door. 6. Yeah, I didn't get that far yet. Oh yeah, the chili cook-off. Sorry, I did pass that up. Y'all just go. I'll eat a peanut butter jelly sandwich because that stuff. Whoo! I can't do that. Big Fisherman's giveaway. Judging awards, win a TV show appearance. Because Dave has a fishing show. That's why in the back there, the guy on the right is carrying a big fish. He's one of our great local fishermen, anglers. So yeah, check it out. Giveaways 50/50, Chinese auction, questions, call Brenda, not my Brenda, their Brenda. And so yeah, live music by the 814 band. And speaking of the 814 band, where'd it go? Oop. They we changed our outro song. We did. Did I get rid of their ad? I must have to make room. I asked permission to use their song that they debuted at the actual Charlie Kirk vigil, named "We Got It From Here." So you'll hear a difference in music. This is the band that we just talked about, the 814 band that played. So, Brenda, want to play that?
Fight, fight, fight has never been clear. Take a good look in the mirror and tell me what you see. They throw their stones to silence people, build up their walls to celebrate evil. Destructions are what they seek, and they got their man Charlie. But like an avalanche rolling downhill, like a fighter imposing his will, an army is born. Like the force of a tsunami wave, rising up, going boldly in faith. We cried and we mourned, but now this is war. One bullet, one shot, but don't be mistaken. They took out a life, but united a nation, and we are not afraid. We rise up against those demonic forces who kill and destroy, but forgot who our Lord is, standing strong and brave. The sleeping giant waves, like an avalanche rolling downhill, like a fighter imposing his will, an army is born. Like the force of a tsunami wave, rising up, going boldly in faith. We cried and we mourned, but now this is war. They took out someone, a dead husband and son, because of his views and his faith. They thought they had won, no idea what they've done. Now they're lying in the bed that they've made. They took out someone, a dead husband or son, because of his views and his faith. They thought they had won, no idea what they've done. Now they're lying in the bed that they've made, and they created a martyr that day. Like an avalanche rolling downhill, a prize fighter imposing his will, an army is born. Like the force of a tsunami wave, rising up, going boldly in faith. We cried and we mourned, but now this is war. Like an avalanche rolling downhill, a prize fighter imposing his will. He lived without fear. Oh, like the force of a tsunami wave, rising up, going boldly in faith. It won't disappear. Now the whole world hears. So let me be clear, Charlie, we got it from here.
All right, everybody. Thanks for coming out. We appreciate it. Sharing your Wednesday night. A lot of things going on. You know, when we do the show, it's so hard to sit down and go, all right, this is going to make the show. That's not going to make the show, because we try to keep it hour and a half. We don't want to keep you guys up too late. We're looking at doing a show on Sunday. I got to check my work schedule, make sure I don't get called in or something crazy. So it's just an issue of if space is available, we will do that. A special thank you to the band 814 for allowing us to play their song. And we'll put their flyer up there one more time. There's a lot of information. Scan the QR code for more details. Let's support the people that supported us. That's at least we can do. It sounds like a good time. I'm not sure where Yale Drive is, but hey, that's why we got Google. And again, we say at the end of our show, salute you and Shank out.